YouTube friends, what is going on? Happy Wednesday. It is Obi-Wan Kenobi day again. We are here. It doesn't feel like it's been a week, but it's been a full week since the last episode. I've got my hopes up this week, guys. I'm ready to check it out. Let's do it. As you remember last week, I wasn't too thrilled with the episode last week. It was okay. Wasn't anything special. The story really didn't progress very far, which is weird because we only have 6 episodes and they've got to take advantage of the time we've got. Come on, Disney, you can do it. So I'm hoping this week we get some movement forward, some forward progression with Vader, with Obi-Wan. I think we've had enough of Leia. We know how that's going to end up, but they've got to bring in Luke at some point, you would think. I know Obi-Wan's going to end up back on Tatooine, and that's probably when they'll introduce Luke as a young kid. But I mean, that's only going to be the tail end of the last episode. Maybe that doesn't sound right. So this is a pivotal episode. I think this episode is going to set the tone for the entire show because the last episode, you know, they're going to try to go all out. But this episode is going to set the stage for that epic ending for the next episode. So that's why my hopes are high this time. I always try to keep them low, but there's only 2 episodes left. This is a huge episode. So Disney, give it to us. Give us something good this week. All right, guys, let's just jump into it. Okay. All right. So I'm ready to go. Let's kick it. Is that Coruscant? Flashback time?
Ah, there you are.
Oh!
I was beginning to think you weren't coming. Man.
Yo.
Good. Then maybe I stand more of a chance this time.
Man.
Are you ready? Are you? Then let's begin.
Oh. Yo, this is... I'm feeling a little emotional watching this. Vader having a flashback?
My lord.
What?
The third sister is here.
That was nice.
It is my great honor to be invited aboard, Lord Vader.
I am not interested in civilities. Where is he?
The tracker worked. He's arriving on Jabeam as we speak.
You have done well. Kneel.
Oh, damn. Is she about to get a promotion?
Grand Inquisitor.
She is. What? Wow.
Set a course, Captain. We leave for Jabeam at once.
Man. That's kind of odd. You think she'd have to like battle the other ones to get that title, but okay. Nice shot. This is all we needed, Disney.
Lock down the facility.
If we seal them in now, they can hold out for days. If we cannot break them...
It is not them we need to break.
Facts. Ooh, yo, I'm starting to get hype already. Calm it down, big guy, calm it down. Here we go. This is all we wanted to see.
Grow too aggressive, Anakin. Be mindful. A Jedi's goal is to defend life, not take it.
Mercy doesn't defeat an enemy, Master.
Ooh.
Which is why you're gonna lose.
Beautiful.
Launch the attack.
Thank you, Disney. Oh. Jeez. They aren't messing around.
this is you stalling for time, it won't work. Lord Vader will have you at any cost.
You mean Anakin? You knew who Vader was. Back on Daiu, how did you know that? Vader would have kept that hidden. And you're too young to have known him. Unless...
She saw him.
Unless you were there.
It doesn't matter where I was.
The night of Order 66, you were a youngling. That's how you knew you saw him.
Stop.
Anakin killed the others.
That's enough.
He killed the other younglings,
Enough.
but somehow you...
Enough!
Here we go. Woo! No way! Dude.
We thought he was there to help us. I tried to help them, but I couldn't. I was too weak.
Wow.
When he left, I played dead. Hid with the bodies. Felt them go cold. They were the only family I knew. And he slaughtered them.
Now we know.
You're not serving him, are you? You're hunting him. Let me help you.
Why would I ever trust you?
Because we want the same thing.
Do we, Obi-Wan? Do you really want Anakin dead?
Good question.
Where were you? While he was killing his friends.
Ooh.
He was your Padawan.
Ooh.
Why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you save us?
Ah. Ooh.
I don't need your help. I don't need anyone.
You won't stop him alone.
You have no idea what I've done alone.
Like butter. Ooh, nice. There's too many of them. What are we going to do? The droid should be out there clobbering, not blasting, clobbering. Thank you. There you go. Oh no. Wow. Oh man. To the end.
May the Force be with you.
Wow. Wow, she went out like a warrior.
Has breached the walls. We shall have him soon.
Tell her to stand down.
My lord.
I'm going in.
He is already ours.
There's no way out, Master.
Ooh, you can see that Vader
Admit you are beaten.
power.
What is it?
Gonna die soon.
You're not bringing him to me. I'm bringing him to you.
If she goes up against Vader, that's not a good idea. I missed this. Ooh.
Your weapon's gone.
He's playing for keeps.
It's over.
Your need for victory, Anakin, it blinds.
God. Man, this is like...
Where is he?
I have him secured inside, my lord.
I will bring him in myself.
Oh man, he's gonna be pissed. Yo! That's what I'm talking about. Ooh. Hell yeah. Ooh. Oh. Oh, nice. They tricked him. Well, nice move. Sleight of hand.
You're a great warrior, Anakin. But you'll need to prove yourself as your undoing.
Wisdom.
Until you overcome it, a Padawan you will still be.
Ouch. So good to see them together. Oh, that was powerful. Oh, he's about to lose it. Oh, man. I sense fear in you. I don't think so.
It was wise to use you against me.
There's no way. Look at these bare hands. Is he gonna? Oh, Lord. I am super geeked. Go, girl. That was nasty. Wow. So difficult to see Anakin doing that. A repeat of history.
You really believe I did not see it, youngling? You are of no further use.
Damn.
Hello, third sister.
And he's back.
Revenge does wonders for the will to live, don't you think? Your rage was useful. Now it is tiresome.
It's like, I'll take that back now.
You where we found you. In the gutter where you belong.
Damn. Oh no.
What is it?
Not good. I don't know, Obi. And here they come. Back to Luke. Wow. Okay, so immediately, you know, guys, I geeked out on that episode. That was great. I'm going to give my thoughts about the whole thing, but just my initial reaction to seeing what we just experienced. I really enjoyed that episode. I'm going to let this sink in a little bit, think about what I saw and formulate some ideas, and then I'll come back and we'll give a little final review on the total episode. Be right back. Okay, guys, so I let that marinate in the brain a little bit. You know, I really, really, really enjoyed that episode. They kind of wasted time in the last episode. I'm not even going to count the last episode in the overall story because it had nothing to do with anything pretty much. This episode, though, they gave us exactly what we've been needing. Why couldn't they have done that from the beginning? I don't get it, but I'm going to enjoy what I saw. So it was incredible. The first thing we saw is the flashback to the temple on Coruscant and seeing Obi-Wan and Anakin sparring in the temple. It almost brought me to tears. I'm not gonna shy away from it, guys. I felt very emotional seeing that because seeing those two going at it took me way back to the Clone Wars from when Obi-Wan was Anakin's master, and there's a whole like story that should be told about that period between those two. There's so many stories that we don't know. We only saw the important bits, but there's a lot of stuff in between with those two featuring Anakin and Obi-Wan. So many war stories to be told. Such a great personal relationship between the two. So it was really nice seeing them sparring, having fun sparring, and also at the same time, Obi-Wan sharing wisdom with Anakin at the same time. So that was pretty good. So you can definitely see the master. Anakin was just ready to prove himself over and over again. Obi-Wan was sort of, you got to temper it down a little bit and be mindful of what you're doing at all times versus just going in there head first, which is Anakin's Achilles heel all the time. So that was great to see those two sparring. And man, I don't know about you guys, but that really, I felt such a good feeling inside seeing that scene. You know, I wish we could have seen more of this. This is exactly what I wanted to see in an Obi-Wan Kenobi show, to be honest with you. Flashbacks like that, flashbacks to them in war, flashbacks to them just relaxing, or flashbacks to them training. Man, it was so good to see. It was a nice treat for me to see that scene. And I definitely got a little misty-eyed because I love those characters. I love them. I love Obi-Wan and Anakin. And to actually see them recreating that, and it took me right back to the Clone Wars 17, 20 years ago. Just seeing the two actors, they still have that same chemistry, that nice chemistry. So that was great. I really enjoyed that. Then we return back to Vader's ship, and we get a really cool shot of Vader standing on the deck of his ship, staring out into the nothingness of hyperspace. And we see the space is twisting and turning in the front of him, and the colors are brilliant. And we see him, the lone figure of Darth Vader, staring out the window, and he's thinking. And we actually get to see what's going on in his mind. There's another flashback to he and Obi-Wan sparring. Of course, they have a really good competition, and it can show some glimpses of his aggression, like I mentioned earlier, that he's showing towards Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan, of course, tries to give him as much wisdom as he can. And it can always have a problem with listening and internalizing that wisdom. But Obi-Wan definitely gave him golden nuggets, and he did here in this flashback as well, telling him that your aggression is going to be the end of you. Jedi are supposed to defend life, not take it. All of this stuff, it comes back to haunt Anakin later on, and as Vader, obviously. So it's really cool to see Vader thinking about this stuff. We never got an internal view of what's going on in Darth Vader's head, and this gave us a great window into his soul pretty much. So that was very cool to see. And then we get another Leia's quest. So these are starting to get a little excessive. You know, it's kind of like in those video games where you have to care for the person. You have to walk them from point A to point B and protect them so that they won't die. Your mission depends on their well-being. That's what these Leia quests have turned into. And this is the third one, I think. Is it the fourth? Maybe it's the third. And they're just getting a little bit, they're starting to drag on now. We're investing a lot of time. Thankfully, they didn't invest too much time into this one. So Obi-Wan goes up to the steel door at the entrance of the cave, and he puts his hand on it, and you can tell he sort of reaches out in the Force. They can sense each other. He and Reva can sense each other on opposite sides of the wall. So he gets close to the wall. She gets close to the wall. They have a really interesting discussion, and we finally get the reveal of exactly who Reva is and what she's after. So they start talking, and then Obi-Wan asks her, how do you know Anakin? No one knows that. Vader sure wouldn't have told anyone. And then he realizes, like something we've all been wondering for the last few episodes. He goes, the only way you could have known if you were there, you were a youngling at Order 66. So we get another flashback back to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant during Order 66. And of course, the younglings they're trying to scramble to get out of there. And then we see Reva as a youngling. Her face, she's got a face of pure horror, and she sees, like, in the far distance, walking towards her, Anakin with his lightsaber drawn, surrounded by clone troopers, and he's walking towards her, and they're scared. And then this really caught me off guard. I didn't expect them to get this graphic with it, but they did show the little message at the beginning. This episode may contain serious scenes, and so this is exactly what that warning was about. So Anakin starts swinging, and he obviously takes out younglings on the left, younglings on the right. Every youngling in that group that she was a part of, he pretty much took out. Obi-Wan pieces it all together, and then she asked him some really interesting questions here, like, where were you when we needed you? Why didn't you help deal with Anakin? All of these legit questions that we've all been wondering. And it's just, you can tell in Obi-Wan's face, it really hit him in the heart and the soul. It broke him again. She asked him, we needed you. You weren't there. Where were you? Why didn't you deal with Anakin when you should have? You know, all of this stuff. And it all falls on his shoulders. It really does. And his face said it all. The whole Grand Inquisitor role was something that she meant to get even closer to Vader, to get an opportunity to take him out herself. So all of this has been a plan for Reva. This whole scene has really changed my perspective on her as a character. I really like this character, especially now that we know the background of what's happening. Makes total sense. I mean, she's put herself in the best position to get her revenge. That's all she's been after this whole time. So her wanting the role of Grand Master, irrelevant. It's only relevant enough to get close enough to Vader to get her revenge. And she's got it now. So they have a really interesting talk, and then she shuts it down like, no, I don't need your help. Really powerful scene with Tala. I got it right this time. Where she's battling it out. She's taking troopers out left and right. The robot is as well, but she gets hit. She's died, and that was really sad to see her pass away, because I think that's who Leia imprinted on in this entire show. That's the one connection that Leia's going to continue for the rest of her life, I think, was this Tala connection. And they're about to make their grand exit and their escape, but they don't. And this is where geek out moment begins for me. So before we get to the big scene in this one, we get a final flashback from Anakin and Obi-Wan. So they're sparring, and then Obi-Wan does a little move where he tricks him, gets behind him, tricks him, and then steals Anakin's lightsaber. Like, you might have thought you won, but you didn't. And then he told him that your desire to prove yourself blinds you. And that is so true. And as this scene unraveled, I really got flashbacks to that conversation that Obi-Wan and Anakin had on Mustafar all those years ago. Obi-Wan warned him, I have the high ground, don't try it. And Anakin at that point wanted to prove it again. He always had that desire to prove himself. And like Obi-Wan mentions here, that will be your undoing. And it was. So it's kind of like, it's a stark reminder of Anakin's fault. And he did it yet again on Mustafar. And it's just something he never grew out of. Vader arrives. He tells Reva, hey, I'm going to bring him in myself. So he makes his way to the hangar where the ships are taking off. And he walks in as they're blasting away. And Vader does it. He reaches out. He reaches his hand out, and you know exactly what it's going to do. It gives you a flashback to that video game, The Force Unleashed, where Starkiller reaches up, grabs that Star Destroyer, and brings it down. Same vibe there. But it was really, really cool to see Vader do this. This was our first opportunity to see Darth Vader at full power. And it was a joy to behold. It was so awesome. He brought the ship down, and in a nightmarish scene, sort of like guts the ship open with this force powers, like violently, just tearing it away like it was nothing, like it was paper. So it was really nice to see Vader's power demonstrated in full glory. And it was something. It was something. I tell you, I'm sure all of you in the audience felt the same way. Like, oh man, this is a nerd's dream to see Darth Vader going off. It was fantastic. This made the whole series worth it for me, just that one scene alone. So at this point, Vader's pissed, and Reva walks up from behind. We see Reva, and we see her in the shadows. She sort of creeps up behind him, and then the camera pans to her lightsaber. She ignites it and strikes, and Vader stops it and pushes her back, and then they start going at it. Reva comes in for the attack, and this just blew my freaking mind. So Vader doesn't even draw his saber. He doesn't even feel the need to draw his saber against her, which is true. There's no way she can go up against Vader. If anyone thought she had a chance, you're wrong. So Vader's like doing these moves. He's doing sort of like a Tai Chi Kung Fu, like Vader Fu action, where she swings, he moves, she swings again, he blocks, uses the force, hits her below. It was so cool. Whoever choreographed this scene did a phenomenal job. It was just mind blowing. It was so cool to see Vader. Like, he was moving nimbly. Like, this is the point in time where he's comfortable in the suit. The parts of the suit are new, so this is a supercharged Vader at this point, not the later, like the clunky version who's been weakened and the suit has just gotten to be such a burden. This is fresh Vader, full power Vader we're seeing here, and it was glorious. It was glorious. I can't tell you how much I loved it. It was so good to see. So freaking awesome to see. I don't know what's going to happen here. How is this thing going to end? We know how Obi-Wan's story ends on Tatooine as Uncle Ben, but how do they lose Vader in all of this? Where does Reva go? If she survives this, where does she end up? Because we never see her again. in the rest of the history. So what is going on, Disney? What are you doing? You got me wondering, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. This is nice. This episode has redeemed the entire series for me. Well, I think I'll end things right here on the good note. This scene was just a bang up job by Disney. They delivered what we've been looking for years. They did a great job on it. I'm going to go watch it about 3 or 4 more times to enjoy this while it's here. God, it was such a good scene. So stay tuned next week for another big time review of the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And for those of you who've never seen my video before, please subscribe. I've got a lot of things coming, a lot of fun we're going to be having here. So subscribe, like videos, make comments, all that good stuff. I'll see all of you next week. And until then, have a big time. Can't wait to see you next week. Bye.